Welcome back to FAWKES News on this very fine morning. Today's episode is brought to you by Pig Latin, a seriously funny true story, a book written by one of the funniest cops of all time. And that cop was myself, along with co-author Nick Palmisano. It is coming out August 25th, but the pre-orders are out now. So head over to Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Books A Million, wherever you order your books from, and get you Pig Latin, a seriously funny true story today. Also, today's show brought to you by factormeals.com/Wolfpack, meal planning to the next level, and, of course, ghostbed.com/Wolfpack today, covering what to expect in the opening of the JFK files. Now, listen, Josh and I are not trying to waste your time. I didn't do a show yesterday because I was hoping at some point yesterday JFK files would be released. For those of you who don't know or live under a rock, the JFK files are set to release any day now. They gave them 15 days. I think we have about 12 days left on the ticker for that. So in the next 12 days, we will have this full JFK report and maybe the 9/11 report as well. I don't know if that was covered or not. We're going to talk about it really quick. I want to read a couple of articles. The reason why we're jumping on here early, though, we do have a big show tomorrow. Very big show covering a lot tomorrow. We've got the J6er who got in a shootout with the police. We've got Trump's speech to California and what that means also for North Carolina in disaster relief. What else do we have on the docket for tomorrow, Josh, that's real big?
You've got the Border Patrol agent that was killed.
Right. With shootouts with cartel on the border. We've got the Gulf of America. We have Colombia saying, no, we're not going to take illegal immigrants. And then Trump being extremely Trump, denying all sorts of trade, flights in and out, visas, all sorts of things. It's wild. And within a few hours, Colombia's like, never mind. Fuck it. Bring over the illegals. We don't care. So yeah, a lot to cover tomorrow. But today, I want to keep it loosey-goosey, a little bit of conspiracy theory-ish, and I'm giving you that warning now. But maybe it's not conspiracy theory anymore. Maybe it's conspiracy fact. And but I want to have fun with today's show. That's normally not what Fox is about, right? Fox is normally about giving you receipts and showing you everything that you can talk about in an argument. Today's not that day. Today is a fun speculation day, kind of ESPN-ish, of kind of speculating on what we're going to find. And the reason why we did this show is if you know, you guys know I'm a big fan of Glenn Beck. I was down at his studios this summer. Just an awesome time. I got to go see his private vault, his private collection. It was great. They were doing some child trafficking legislation through one of his nonprofits. And I got to be a part of it. And it was just such an epic weekend. But I was watching the Glenn Beck show, and they had Kash Patel on, and Kash said this one thing, and immediately I called Josh. And it was so funny because when I called Josh, I didn't mention that I was watching Glenn Beck or anything. And he said, hey, did you hear what Kash Patel said on Glenn Beck? And I said, wow, that's crazy. I was on my way home from jiu-jitsu, and I was listening to it, and I was like, wow, let's talk. And then so we ended up talking for an hour about all of our speculations. I said, let's put this into an episode. Let's jump on Tuesday. Let's run an episode on this and really dive into it. So here we go. I want to start off by playing the clip for you guys and of Kash Patel on Glenn Beck. Here it is. Here's the clip, and we're going to talk about it.
Oh, I don't care.
Whoa, that is not the clip. Josh, that is not the clip.
It's a good clip.
That is a great clip. One of the best legacy media moments of all time. But that is not the clip we are looking for. The clip that we are looking for happens to be
play the clip.
Right. Yeah, I'll play the clip. When we find the clip, that's what I would do. A little inside joke there. Sorry, guys. Yeah, you'd play it too. You know you would. Here we go. Let's find the clip, and we'll play it for you. Here we go. There it is.
The CIA killed Kennedy.
No. You're talking to a guy that's read the entire JFK file.
You've seen all the secret stuff?
I've seen all of that, and I've seen the 7 pages of the 9/11 report. I've seen it all.
You don't say that to people that you can't tell what you saw. Should the Kennedy stuff be released?
Yes.
Is there anything there that is like, is anybody alive?
The problem is, the things that we can't release have nothing to do with the questions you guys are asking. That's about as far as I can go on it. But like the answers you guys want, you pretty much have them. There is very minimal stuff that can't be seen from things that you wouldn't even think are related to that.
Why can't we release them?
And you're thinking temporally, like, did it stop back then? Right? You know, the way intelligence works is you're always developing it. Where did I get that? Where did that go? Oh, well, hey, I found that guy 5 years ago. Let's go talk to him. Where does that get us? You know, it's a little bit bigger of a jigsaw puzzle. I mean, it's the same. Look, so the 7 pages of the 9/11 report, yes, overnight, that needs to come out. I'm telling you, that's got to go. And there will be some people that are pissed off.
All right. So let's break this down for you because I don't know if you guys are listening. So Josh and I, this is what we do. This is what we love. We love the puzzle pieces. We love putting the pieces together. And that's what makes us so much different than legacy media or mainstream media, because we take all of the things that are going on in the world, all of the evidence, and then we combine them and then we give them to you free of emotions, but then free of any kind of financial responsibility. We're not going to lose any sponsors because of what we say, or we don't answer to any kind of big corporation. We get to kind of do this on our own. That's what made podcasting so fun. I was just featured in a very popular Irish not a tabloid, but an Irish news, kind of like the New York Post, but in Ireland. And everybody said it was a trap. He flew to the United States and then he met with me and a couple of other people. And he interviewed us about that. And I'll share the article with you guys at some point. Wasn't planning on doing that today. But my wife was like, that seems like that dude's going to roast it. Like, you said a lot. And I read the article this morning, and everything I said, I completely 100% stand by. And what I said, one of the big things that I said and that he quoted me on was that's why podcasts are so successful right now. Because we know and everybody understands and realizes in the United States that legacy media is propaganda. And they're only telling you what they want. And podcasters at least are questioning who's propaganda and who's not. I don't know in podcasting who's propaganda yet. Obviously, podcasting is going to get infiltrated. That's why when I see guys that aren't really that great at podcasting, or that are 100% narcissists that have an extremely large audience that they get to talk to almost overnight, that audience was given to them. They didn't earn the audience. Some of these guys, an audience was given to them, and you have to ask why. What made them garner that kind of audience? When they say essentially everything that you would want a deep state to say to rile up one side. Because you got to remember, the deep state isn't left or right. Oh, this is so crazy, Josh. But it's not. The deep state's not left or right. The deep state is big government. It's who big daddy government can control, whether that be the Bushes, the Clintons, Obama. They put people in power of whom they can control. If you're not on board with that yet, then stop listening to this show, because all the information that we digest it coming from the point that we know and understand that there absolutely is an overarching government that's not a government that we're familiar with. It's the rich elites. It's the backyard deals. And, you know, it's as simple as watching the stupid ass show Yellowstone. Just started watching it. Like, I bought a cowboy hat, and then somebody says, now you have a cowboy hat, you have to watch Yellowstone. And I was like, isn't it the other way around? Isn't it like you watch Yellowstone and then get a cowboy hat? But now I've been watching Yellowstone every night with my cowboy hat on, and it's disgusts me. I don't know. I'm on like episode 7. I'm pretty much done with it. I don't really want to watch it anymore, because that's exactly what government is like. It's a bunch of backyard deals. It's a bunch of corrupt. It's a bunch of people who are doing things the wrong way and justifying it because they say it's for the right reasons. That's what I think we're going to find out in these 9/11 reports. So let's take some time to digest, one, what Kash Patel just said. And then 2, let's have some fun speculating and get out of here. I want to keep it a shorter show. Probably going to keep you guys for about 30 minutes today. First of all, let's digest what he said. Josh, do I need to play it again where he talks about this web of information, or do you think you can articulate that for us?
No, I think I'm pretty good.
Go ahead.
Because the thing is what he's talking about there is basically what we think we know there, we already know. So then it's the what's the other stuff? And the other stuff is he's telling us you don't even know the questions to ask about what's the things, the why we can't release it. So then we can really go crazy here. Cause I mean, on the wild end, we got what is it? Aliens? I mean,
yeah, on the far side of the spectrum, aliens.
Lizard
right?
people?
Like if you want to be really crazy and out there, aliens. But then you have everything in between aliens too. And what Cash Patel is basically spilling the beans here is he's saying, listen, and I feel like a preacher here. Like I'm trying to explain what God meant in the Bible. Like I'm trying to explain what Cash Patel meant to Glenn Beck. What I interpret that he's saying here is that, look, the questions you have about JFK, that's obvious. But here's the thing is you don't know the why. And there's things in the JFK file that you haven't even thought of, which could, and this is where the speculation comes in. It could be anything from underground gangs, or it could be Mossad from Israel. It could be, this could be an Iranian plot. It could be Russian plot, Chinese. It could be, what he's saying is that there's stuff in there and intel is overgrowing. So we're still gathering intel on what this was all about. And so the investigation is still essentially going, is kind of what he's saying. Now, I don't know, do you believe Cash Patel or do you not believe Cash Patel? But the files are being released. And now we're going to be privy to this information unless they just redact the crap out of it. Maybe we're going to be privy to some of this information that is going to blow our minds. I also, we have to talk about him and this 9/11 reports. And why are people going to be pissed off at the 9/11 reports? I've never been a 9/11 conspiracy theorist so much because it always blew my, it was like one of those things that was like, no way. But then you start studying things like Operation Northwood. Then you start talking about the insurance thing, which, then we talk about the fire. There's a lot of things that you can add together. But the one thing that does it for me on the 9/11 files is how did that other building collapse the way it did from the bottom down? So it means the bottom blew out and everything from the top collapsed on it. What caused it? If the World Trade Center is burning way up high, and it collapsed. I mean, Building 7 had no reason to fall whatsoever. And it fell in such a perfect controlled blast. It's almost like if you're not questioning that, then you're the idiot. You're the fool. But it feels foolish to question things, right? Like, why would the government bring down a building? Why? And maybe, Josh, do you think the JFK files, do you think we learn any of that from that or no?
Well, like one of the other things, because if we go out like the way far end, we're aliens and lizard people, but if we start coming back to, I would say towards, I'd hope towards more reality. One of the reasons why you wouldn't want to release stuff in there is there's active things that we were, or things that we were doing that worked for whatever we were doing back then. So whatever we did back then was kill a sitting president. So if there are spy techniques, or if there's techniques, or there's something that they used that worked, you don't want to let that out, because then you might be able to use that again. Or the why was he killed? Did he know information? Was he going to release information? Was he going to do what Trump said he's going to do? Was he going to give more information out? Was he going to let the public in on, hey, this is what's really been going on behind the scenes? Because like you say, like 9/11, I have a hard time buying into it. But at the same time, if we go from MK Ultra,
have you seen the tapes with Alex Jones years and years before, where he said Osama bin Laden is going to blow up a World Trade Center? He said that years before. Like, it's bonkers, man. Like, of how, and then you go and you look at the Pentagon stuff, and it's just, I don't know. Like, now at 40 years old, you'd think I'd be wiser. And I'm not poisoned. I'm not poisoned by conspiracy theories. I'm not a fool. But I was a cop for a long time, and we follow evidence. And when you start presenting evidence, you have to question the evidence, even if it's ridiculous. And I could give you examples. Why you follow the evidence. One example in particular was when I was an officer. I was with a rookie, and we had a man who had been shot in the head. Hole in the front, hole out the back, brains on the ground. And we got him to the hospital, and they were trying to save this guy. And I literally saw, when they put him on the gurney, more of his brain fell out of the back of his head, and they scooped it up into a mason jar, like a Petri dish type jar. And so I was like, why are we even working on this guy? Like, this dude's like dead. Well, they were doing all the scans, and they realized no bullet traveled through his brain, and there wasn't any scarring going around the skull that should be there within, an hour after the shooting occurred. Again, this guy is still alive. They're still trying to bring this guy to life. And so I call the detectives on scene. I say, I'm at the hospital, and they're saying that no bullet hit this guy. And they're like, no. He definitely got shot in the head. We all saw it. And I'm like, no, we need to figure out what happened, but he didn't get shot. And even witnesses said that this guy was shot in the head. Well, upon further canvassing, we meet the guy who actually committed the assault. And he tells the story. He says, we don't know this guy. He walked into the yard. He tried to sexually assault my niece at the barbecue. We told him to leave several times. Nobody knows who he is. He was high on something. And when he went to grab her, I beat the freaking brakes off of him. And he had a giant Marine Corps ring on his finger. And so when he was punching him in the forehead, it drove a hole in the front. And the guy got tired of getting hit in the face and rolled to his stomach. And he punched him in the stomach and it cracked the back. And that's why we had the front and right. So it's like some things are not always as they seem. You have to follow the evidence. Okay, so where's the ring? Let me go get the ring. We called the hospital and we say, hey, would a ring of this graduation style ring like this picture, would that create this kind of injury? Of course it would. Yes, that makes a lot more sense. We were also wondering because there was gravel in the front of the skull. So it would make sense that he was on his face eating gravel, because if you got shot in the head, it's not like gravel is going to shoot up into your skull. So again, you got to follow the evidence in a lot of these things. And that's what I do. But we still question the evidence, right? We still have to go and question, even though it makes a little bit of sense, we still have to question that. Do you think this could really happen? Yeah, it makes sense. It sounds good, but is it possible? Is it plausible? And then you have to go and you have to act on that. So to not question is to be foolish. Right, Josh?
There's some, like, I've seen a lot of things, and there's some things that I've seen, but I chalk it up to I don't have an explanation to what I just witnessed. I seen it with my own two eyes, and I can't explain it. There's some stuff that's happened, but then there's other things that I'm like, I know that I can't explain this now, but I might be able to explain it in the future when I have a little bit more information, when I have a little bit better situational awareness, because maybe at 7 years old, I might be able to be fooled by magic, but at 30 years old, it's going to take a little bit more to kind of get me. So, like, the thing is to go back to them. The reason why they're not putting them out there, there's a reason why. Why would you not be transparent with the American people? Maybe there's something in there that we're not so proud of. I mean, the last president just pardoned his entire family. Why would you need to pardon your entire family? What crimes did your entire family commit? So we go back to this. Like, I think that if you had to ask me to put my money on it, my money is it's either something to do with national security. There's a weapon system, or there's something spy-ish that we're still working with today. And that's why we don't want to release it, or that's why they don't want to release it.
And I think that's the bigger portion. I mean, I've always thought for years that, like, how are they going to hide the Bush family or the families that are involved in, and that's where I think that's my theory, is that this had to do with JFK wanting to scatter the three-letter agencies to the four winds, exposing Operation Northwood, MK Ultra, and all of the heinous things that were going on in the 70s and 80s, and probably still going on today. And so I always thought that that's why it was covering up. But then why wouldn't somebody like Bush, when George H. Bush or Bill Clinton, why wouldn't he pardon his own family, similar to what Biden did? If this was the case, you could go ahead and pre-pardon them. And it would, I mean, surely they would think of that. I want to bring up this point from Armory Knight because I think it is an important part. And this is a fun show today. Again, speculation is kind of fun, but there is a caveat. There is a warning when doing things like this. He says, I knew someone that believed in lizard people controlling the world and thought if she could go to India, she could reincarnate and try again. She slowly got crazier. I do think that a couple of things happen here. Schizophrenia, or people that are mentally ill or weak, mentally weak in their mental faculties, the too much of an imagination, I would say. Again, I'm not a doctor or anything, just a podcaster, but this is what I feel. And I think, I think there is a place for conspiracy theories in those minds, and that you can take things a little too seriously. It's like me and puzzles. Do you know why I can't start a puzzle, Josh?
Because you can't finish it.
I have an addiction. It's real. If I start a puzzle, have to finish it. I went on a 5-day vacation, and the family thought it would be funny to buy like an impossible puzzle. I was on the beach in a mansion, like a 22 bedroom mansion on the beach, epic vacay. And I barely left the house to go enjoy anything else because I was trying to put together this puzzle. So I have one of those brains, right? Where if there's a puzzle, I have to solve it. That's why I try not to get too far into true crime. That's why I had to keep Daniel Holtzclaw at a distance, because Daniel Holtzclaw's case has driven me mad crazy since it's down of time. And I know he's 100% innocent. And I've spent hours and hours trying to prove myself one way or the other, trying to prove that he's guilty, trying to prove that he's innocent. And at the end of the day, the dude is 100% innocent from all the information that I gathered. But I have to be careful with this stuff. So people that get too serious, and I see this on social media, and you can tell, you can always tell if somebody's social media is more than 50% pro-Trump stuff, pro-political stuff, pro-conspiracy stuff, they have a problem. They really do. They really have a problem. You got to have a balance, guys. You got to balance yourself. It's fun to flirt with this stuff. You know, it's fun to tune into The Bar is Open with Beth and Greg and flirt with that stuff. But when TMZ and tabloid media becomes your whole fucking life, and you have to know what Jennifer Aniston is wearing cologne-wise, we're like, you know what I mean? When you go too deep into society and culture, that's a problem. Same with true crime. You know, there's got to be a balance, and there's levels to that. So I get that. You have to be careful when you're playing with these conspiracy theories. But at the end of the day, let's get real here. Let's get real here. Those files are coming. Cash Patel is telling us, he's saying, like, there are shit in here that you never fucking thought about. Do we have an article? Let me read that CNN article really quick, just about the release in general of this.
Yep.
Go ahead and read me the article in short.
Is this the right one? So this is from CNN. They really don't go too far into anything. The final secret files are coming out, what the murders that shattered in the 60s and what they might learn about JFK, Martin Luther King, and RFK. Oh, that's another thing. Martin Luther King, there's some files in there that's supposed to be released that says that some of the things about him might not be the greatest in history. So that's fun. So Donald Trump announced an executive order on Thursday, released the remaining government files in 3 of the country's most notorious assassinations. It immediately grabbed public attention and raised intrigue. All and everything will be revealed, Trump said, as Sharpie applied his famous angular signature. The announcement was fulfillment of a Trump campaign to promise to give the public access to the federal government knows about the murders of President John F. Kennedy in 1963, as well as Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. and Senator Robert F. Kennedy in 1968. But the new information may not satisfy people, and hoping to fully clear the veil of mystery that has surrounded the killings of one of America's darkest times in history, spinning up decades of conspiracy theories. The records will not reveal any smoking gun, Tom Smolak told CNN on Thursday. Smolak is one of the people that's actually seen the secret JFK files, having reviewed him in the 1990s as a part of the government panel to see what could be released. He is now a board member on the John F. Kennedy Library Foundation. There will be some puzzle pieces that will be put back in, and more will be robust in the rich story, Smolak said. Here's what we know so far. The past promises to declassify were delayed. So they delayed it every time that over the years they've come, the 50 years comes up and they say, hey, we're going to release these now. They said, well, no, we're going to delay it for whatever. They always have some new reason. Many still don't believe there's a lone gunman that killed JFK. So this is CNN. They don't really go too deep into this. Most records are already released. And the MLK family wants to delay the release. So they don't go too deep into it.
And the MLK stuff is kind of crazy too, because there's some like sexual allegations there, some sexual assault stuff going on there. That the one that the FBI planted that because they wanted to discredit MLK, and then others say that they killed him because they didn't want that stuff to come out. Anyway, I'm really excited about it. I can barely sleep at night waiting for these files to come out, but I do get some sleep tonight because I sleep on a ghost bed, ghostbed.com/Wolfpack. Sleep so good it's scary. Absolutely love my ghost bed and my ghost bed pillows. I travel all around, headed to Michigan this week. After a delay in travel, I will be heading to work with a media group out there, making some content. So really excited about that. And I'll be traveling with my ghost bed pillow. So I told them as long as they have me a 6 foot by 3 foot area to lay my head at, I will take care of the rest. Also the massage topper, I'm training BJJ and Muay Thai at 40 years old, and I could not do any of this without my massage topper, without getting my back worked on every single night, dude. I'm on my massage topper every freaking night right now, getting the heater on it. It's got that little heating pad, and it's got the zero gravity massage mode. So it's like, it's not really impactful and it's just stretching you out. Oh my God, it is great. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Get her the gift that keeps on giving and giving. No, not an STD, but the gift of a ghost bed. Also, factormeals.com/wolfpack50. Meal playing the next level. Baby, I am almost under 200 pounds. I'm getting close. I'm at 203. Knock, knock, knocking on 190's door. Yeah, yeah. So that's all big help to factormeals.com/wolfpack50. This week, I got some more Factor meals coming that I haven't even tried yet. So I'm going to make a little video of that. I think that'll be cutesy bootsy, but it would really, listen, if you're trying to get in shape for Valentine's Day because you want to be a good lover, or maybe you want to start getting ready for the summer and get that toned to bad before you go on your little spring break vacay, your cruise, head over to Factor Meals. You can do calorie conscious, protein heavy, whatever it takes to get you into the shape you want. But this is, listen, meal planning to the next level, chef prepared, fresh, never frozen meals delivered right to your door. So you don't even have to think about it. This is a no-brainer. The cost of goods are way up. Factor Meals is reasonable. Head over to Factor Meals right now. These things heat up in 2 minutes or less. Go to factormeals.com. You can get breakfast and lunch, lunch and dinner, lunch and dinner, whatever you want to do it. Go with Factor Meals. They deliver them the same time every week. And listen, if you forget to update your order, they'll just send you the same shit the next Tuesday, which I love. You know what I mean? Because I order 5 meals. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I didn't go and pick out 5 new meals, but it doesn't mean I don't get my stuff. They do send you an email. It's like, hey, you didn't pick. You sure you don't want to pick? You want to pick something new? You want to pick something new? No. And then boom, they just ship it. If you don't answer, they just ship it. So that's really great. Tomorrow's show is going to be fantastic. Big, long show tomorrow with lots of information of all of the things. We got cartel shootouts with Border Patrol. We've got Trump lighting it up in LA, exposing some of the stuff going on in North Carolina, making stops in North Carolina. We've got the Gulf of America. We got this whole thing going on with Colombia. We've got troops deploying and not deploying we want to talk about. And so much going on here news-wise. If you are interested, some of you guys have messaged me, why aren't we doing Society and Culture on Monday nights? The reason why is because we have the Bars Open with Beth and Greg on the network, and we need that show to grow because we want to start filling them up with some ads. If you want to support the network and the channel, you got to go and support the Bars Open with Beth and Greg. Got to do it. Also, there's been in talks with Blake Reynolds. You know me, guys. I don't hide anything back from you. Blake Reynolds and I are doing some stuff together this year, so that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do some podcasting stuff together too as well. Nothing like a fish, like nothing like just like guesty content sometimes every once in a while coming to see each other, but we really dig each other's content, which is really cool because he's got hundreds of thousands of followers. We talked on the phone for an hour and we want to collab on some content together, so that's really exciting. But yeah, head over to the Bars Open with Beth and Greg. Give us a 5-star rating and review. Give them a 5-star rating and review, and then subscribe on YouTube as well. We do have a live chat today. I want to give a shout out to the live chat. We've got Tyler Esmer, 530, Nightkin, Greg LaMontagne from the Bars Open, Teresa Flobert. Thank you guys for being in here. Not Bar Talk Podcast. They're new in the chats. Never seen you guys before. Welcome. Will Cray, as always, big old Will Cray. Will Cray's still single, ready to mingle. So if you're listen, I've hung out with Will Cray on several occasions. The guy's a doll. Guy's a doll. And what guy doesn't have a little bit of anger management issues from time to time? He's open about it. I mean, I didn't see any of that, you know? And I want my man to be a little bit angry sometimes at the right reasons. You know what I mean? Guy that's really going to fight for you. But Will Cray, listen, he's got a good taste, good palate, eats well, kind, gentle man. And he's no shenanigans kind of guy. But a little bit of shenanigans. Does that make sense? He's no shenanigans, but there's a little bit of shenanigans with Will Cray. Like he's down for a little bit of shenanigans, but he's kind of a no-nonsenser. Anyway, really enjoy his company. Thanks for being in the chats. And then David J., our resident Navy guy, who has just always been out there, day one listener for 4 years or so, and always protecting us. And, of course, Nightkin from across the pond. So appreciate all of you guys for being in the chats. Does he eat pineapple, Armory Knight asks? I don't know. I don't know if Will Cray's the type of guy that eats pineapple or not. He was not picky. Actually, one of my favorite memories is I took him to Big Black Terry's in Texas. Is that what I always forget the name of that fucking place, man. Anyway, a big barbecue joint, famous joint, Black Terry's, something like that in Texas. It's super famous. I'm sure if you type in like Black Terry's barbecue, you'll get what it is. But he and I ordered just this Terry Blacks. That's it, Terry Blacks. And we ordered I don't know, whatever the meal is that we ordered. And he and I didn't say one word to each other. We were just, it was the best, maybe one of the best dinners I've ever fucking had. And we didn't talk at all. And we had talked a lot before that. And it was just because we were eating so much, dude. We're getting those meat sweats together. It was a blast. So always good to see him in the chats. Yes, Terry Blacks. Thanks, Greg LaMontagne. Terry, yeah. Big Black Terry sounds like a gay bar. It does. I don't know why Big Black Terry's is what's coming to my brain. Anyway, guys, we've had a great time with y'all today. I wanted to keep it 30 minutes. We're at 30 minutes. So I'm going to read one more comment here. Nijkin says, your pineapple on pizza, people, please. We are in Sweden, took it one step further with banana on pizza. My kids are going to flip a nut. One, they love Nijkin because he sends them candy every year, which has just been the highlight of their Christmas. It's actually become Christmas tradition. So I don't know that you can stop Nijkin. And if you are playing on stop, let me order it and then put your name on there, because now it's become a thing that they are expecting. But anyway, now that I tell them that Nijkin from across upon the guy that sends all the chocolates, by the way, Nijkin, if you ever want to make your way for the United States, you might be a creep, you might be weird, I don't care. You're more than welcome to stay at our house while you're in the United States, and we'll tour you around. So just give us a heads up. We'll host you for free. You don't have to worry about food or lodging. We'll hook you up. But anyway, now that I tell them that Nijkin from across the pond, their Swedish friend that they've never actually met, likes banana on pizza, they're going to want to try the banana on pizza. So appreciate all you guys do. All right, tomorrow, big show, big serious show with all of the receipts. It's going to be crazy. I want to know, what do you guys think is going to be on the JFK file? There will be a post on Instagram here in just a second on Fox _ it's FAWKES _news _Maine. Follow that. Comment under the post what you think we will find on the JFK files. G.I. Joe says it's the best. Maybe you didn't know about what you can expect from the JFK files, but now you do know, and knowing is half the battle. We'll see you tomorrow for the big show. Until then, guys, cheers. Take us out of here, Josh.